Hey there friends, how's it going? David Potts with Song Notes here, and today's lesson I want to return to the topic of the major scale. I'm going to answer a question that came in by someone in the Song Notes community, and later in this lesson, and basically attached to the webpage on my website, you can get this PDF. It's a cheat sheet showing you the major scales in open position, right? For C, for G, for D, for A, for E. For all of those keys, you can play the major scale in the thinnest 3 or 4 frets, and that cheat sheet will give you all the tabs and fretboard diagrams for that. Now, let me talk about how this came to be and set the context here, okay? So looking over at my Song Notes community forum, I have an Ask a Question part of that forum, and anyone can ask a question, and myself or other folks in the Song Notes community will answer. It's a great, positive place. I really recommend checking it out if you're not a member. So John asks about, he printed out my lesson 384 PDF. Now, I have a 7-page PDF. It sort of looks like this. Well, let me scroll to the top here. Now, this PDF is on the topic of the major scale positions and the cage chord system. John asks about, I need help reading the images of the scales. There's no labels of what frets the scales start on. In other words, there's no picture of the nut, which is right here on the guitar, so he can figure out which frets the scales start on. So, John, you're absolutely correct. This particular lesson, what it was focusing on doing is showing you how, no matter which key you're in, any of the 12 major keys, there's going to be one pattern on the fretboard that all the keys share. Now, here's the deal. Where this pattern starts is going to be different for each key, right? But the pattern itself stays the same. But in this lesson, what I'm going to do is take things back to a much more effective and helpful starting point. And it's going to have to do with the scales in open position. So we're only going to be dealing with the first couple frets here. And let me remove this from the screen to make it simpler. So let me show you, I'll walk you through a few of these chords. Okay, and if you want to get this PDF or you want to watch zoomed in videos of me playing each of these 5 chords, each of these 5 scales, you're going to want to head on over to my website, and all those videos are there. But I'll get you started in the next part of this video here. So let's zoom in on my guitar. Now, the first one we're going to look at is C major. Okay, so what you'll have on the screen right now are a few things. On the far left, you have the C major chord. I'm including this because I think learning scales, at least being aware of what is the chord context that this scale is coming from, right? So this is a C major chord. Now, if I was to, I have it written out in the tab form as well, that the whole chord, right? 3rd, 2nd, open, 1st, open. But the 7 notes that make up the C major scale, in open position, you can play a full octave starting on this C, and we're going to end on this C, okay? So this is a C on the 5th string, this is a C on the 2nd string. And these are in open position, right? So I can play, okay, that's a major scale starting on C, ending on C. It's one full octave. Now, the notes in C major actually do continue lower in pitch from this note. For example, I could go down, but then I run out of notes and I can't get to another C. So just for this diagram, I'm going to omit those notes. I'm going to keep this all based around complete scales, right? In this case, C major, you can play a 1 octave complete scale with the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd frets on the middle 4 strings, okay? So 3rd fret of the 5th string. On the 4th string, we'll do open, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. The 3rd string, we'll do open, 2nd fret. And on the 2nd string, we'll do open and 1st fret, okay? So those are the tabs showing you how to play it. Now, below the tabs, pay attention to what's there, okay? In the red marker, you have the names of the actual notes. Now, the notes in every major scale are different and unique. I have a separate lesson on this in my practical music theory course. It's all about the major scale and the notes in each key and how these notes are determined. You don't necessarily need to memorize that, but just understand that the notes in every major scale are different, right? So, but you see, you could play this same scale, and it probably is a good idea at some point to be aware of which notes you're playing. You could say them out loud, right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? So just doing this is going to really help you, because as you play different scales, you're going to notice that many of the notes overlap, right? And learning these notes in the first 3 or 4 frets is incredibly valuable as a guitarist. So that's there for you if you need it. I also have in the blue text, right, the scale degree. All this refers to is the numbered order of each note in the scale. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. After 7, things just restart at 1 again. Okay, this is really helpful because I'll cover this in future lessons. But when we start describing melodies or we start moving between different keys, the notes are going to change, the names of the notes, but the scale degrees are consistent. And the example I like to use is Ode to Joy. You can play Beethoven's Ode to Joy starting on the 3rd scale degree, right? So in C, that would be, right, this E note right here. And it just goes, these are all scale degree numbers, right? 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. No matter which key you're in, those numbers in that order will give you Ode to Joy. So 3, 3, 4, 5, 5. Right? And I'll do the whole thing. 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. Okay? So I'll come back to that in a second. And y'all, one quick aside. In that other lesson I mentioned, the reason I have the numbers here is because I'm showing scale degrees. So if you pick any root note, say on the 2nd string, you pick a root note and you decide that's your root note. If you played 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, that would give you Ode to Joy. You don't even need to know what key you're in, but that's the power of scale degrees. So I'm going to leave that where it is now. I just want to tell you that that's why I did it in that earlier lesson. But let's get back to this one. But that's why scale degrees are worth learning. For melodies like I just did. Also for chords, the C major chord. Which scale degrees is this built with? It's built with the 1, the 3, and the 5. And that's the same for every major chord, right? 1, 3, 5, right? Those first 3 notes of the C major chord are, if you look at the scale there, you'll see it's the 1, right? It's the 3, which is E, and it's the 5, which is G. And then the next note is another 1 up here on the 2nd string. And then the next note is the thinnest string. Now, what note is on this thinnest string right here? Well, if you look at the fretboard diagram on the far right, and you look at the thinnest string open, it's an E, right? And then you can look at the diagram here and, hey, which scale degree is E? It's a 3rd. So it's basically, all these are different ways of showing you the same information, but it's just helpful, whether it's tabs, whether it's note names or scale degrees, whether it's a fretboard diagram or chord chart. They're all really like informing each other, so it's helpful to be aware of them. Let's look at a different key really quick. Let's look at G. Now, what's interesting about G is just by the virtue of whatever the open strings are tuned to, and standard tuning, that is, we can play G in 2 octaves in open position, right? Because the lowest G is right here, the highest G is right here, right? In the first couple frets. So I can play the G major scale. Okay, that's 1 octave. I'll keep going. Okay, and this is a G that I'm ending on. So this is 2 full octaves. Now when you're practicing this scale, you could do 1 octave at a time. And you could go back down. Or you could do 2 full octaves at once. And you could go back down. Now, really quick, let me show you the Ode to Joy thing. Remember? 3, 3, 4, 5, 5. Well, if you look at the G major scale, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this note right here, this is a B. We're going to use that as our starting note and play Ode to Joy. 3, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. Okay? Again, it's the same thing I did in the key of C as far as the scale degrees go. That's why scale degrees are worth learning, is they help you with melodies, they help you sort of describe what you're doing, and you don't need to memorize all the notes. So they're a very helpful thing to do. So that's how you do G. So like I said, on my PDF and over at my website, I'll show you the other scales, right? The D major scale, the A major scale, the E major scale. I have the same graphic for each of those. They're in this PDF. I recommend getting this PDF. You can download it, print it out, keep it around, tack it on your wall. And if ever you're playing something in one of these keys, and these are the 5 most common keys on guitar. Yeah, you might add a capo here or there, but as far as these shapes you're using, the shapes are going to stay the same even if you used a capo. But John, I hope this is helpful for you. I would like to return to major scales and do a proper course. There's so many cool directions you can go. I'll show you this cool thing, everybody, since we're here. So one cool thing I want to show you about the community forum here is John asked this question and then Richard replied. And, I agree with his point that if you're trying to learn scales, I'm not sure the cage lesson is the way to go. But then Richard posted this exercise that he does to warm up. And this is just a great thing about the community. I love it. It's hearing the different approaches, techniques, and the different things that folks practice to get fluent with things. So this lesson is showing you how you can effectively combine different scale positions to play multiple octaves. Now this is going to take you out of open position and up the fretboard. It's a bit more of an advanced technique, but it's great for warming up. So there's all kinds of ways to dice it when it comes to learning the major scale. So John, once more, and everyone else, I hope this is helpful for you. Again, I want to return to the major scale topic, but in the meantime, hopefully this gets you started with things. So thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to join this Song Notes community forum, the best way to do it is you go to SongNotes. The only way to do it is you go to my website, songnotes.net. That's my website. It's 100% my lessons. No one else's lessons are there. I've been making guitar lessons. It'll be 10 years on YouTube this year. Over 470 lessons, almost 500. I'm putting out a couple a week. I mean, it's the songs I'm learning, it's techniques, it's answering questions like this. You can browse all my songs, for example, if you're interested in that, right? You can look at things that are beginner friendly. I have these grouped by key because, again, any key you're in typically is going to, let me zoom in and show you this, right? If you're in the key of G, for example, these are the 4 chords you're going to be using most of the time. So you learn those chords, and then I have a bunch of just beginner-friendly lessons listed here. You find one you're interested in, it's LA Freeway by Guy Clark, amazing song, right? And it's going to use those same chords for the most part, right? Or you could benefit from the G major scale. And I also have this community over here. So if you're a member on my site, you're able to access the community, share, ask questions, share song requests, just discuss things with other folks in the community. It's a really great place, and I'm very happy and blessed to be surrounded by so many great folks supporting me in my efforts. So everyone, I hope this is helpful for you. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, my friends, take care and bye-bye.